Welcome to My Career Journey, a podcast that highlights different career paths, tackles tough topics, and shares actionable tips and insights. I'm Emily.
And I'm Allegra. We're your hosts and both career switchers. In each episode, we'll talk about our experiences, learn from others, and help you find happiness and success in your career journey. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody. We are so glad you're here. Today, we're sharing another one of our guest episodes with Marlinda Galapon, one of Emily's close friends from the AI space.
Yeah, Marlinda and I first connected virtually in the AI space when I was making the transition. And then we eventually met in person at an AI conference, and we've stayed friends ever since.
I have a feeling that's just how you are with most people. You just stay friends with them.
It's easy in this community.
Which is so fabulous. And actually, this conversation gave us a little bit of sneak peek and insight to the path of conversation design. It's such an interesting field. It's obviously very hot right now with everything going on in Gen AI. And it was really cool to hear both of you just kind of light up when you talk about it. That's so special. And she talks about her path. It was not easy to get into this field. Marlinda shares with us about her years of rejection, fighting imposter syndrome, which I think a lot of people can relate to, and the odd jobs that she took to sustain her.
Yeah, she definitely went through a lot to get to where she wanted to go. And I just loved her authenticity and vulnerability about stuff like being an introvert, but still putting herself out there and realizing the importance of that. So I think what really stands out is her growth mindset and just never giving up until she got where she wanted to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're really excited for all of you to hear this conversation. So let's dive right in.
Welcome to My Career Journey, Marlinda. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're so excited to talk to you today. And the first question we have is, can you just give us a brief overview of your career journey?
Oh, yes. It has been all over the place. The story starts when I was in my mother's womb, and she was telling me that I'm going to grow up to be a nurse. And so my entire life, I didn't think I had options. I never even looked at what else was out there. And then did the whole pre-nursing prerequisites, all of that, got to the point of applying to nursing school. And then that's when, I don't know, maybe my brain finally developed, like the frontal cortex just finally developed. And I thought, wait a second, is this what I want? Had a life crisis right there, decided I wasn't going to go through with it, did a bunch of random jobs until I got a random contract tech job at Yahoo. Where I was a search editor. And what I did was I basically worked on the mail and search products for Yahoo. I'm doing NLP. And then from the first year, at the end of the first year that I had that, there was a random one-off project where people looked for volunteers for a chatbot initiative. And so I volunteered for that. And then from there, I was like, this could be a job. And I just searched for chatbot writer, chatbot content strategist, because at that time, conversation design wasn't a name for a role yet. So just continued chasing it until where did I land? I eventually, that was in 2015. I didn't actually get a role in conversation design until 2020. And that was only because I would say it would be the pandemic, when all the companies lost their manpower because everything was shut down, but they were still serving the same number of customers. And so companies decided to turn to chatbots. And that's when Adobe noticed my experience, brought me on for a sort of audit 4-month contract job. That was short. That was a short stint. Then I was at Salesforce. Then my first full-time role became Zendesk. And now I'm at Figma.
Wow, that's quite a journey.
That is. I mean, first of all, starting in the womb, taking us back to truly the early days. But I love that you did that too, because I think so often familial expectations drive what success looks like to us, right?
Yes,
and then we spend many years unpacking that kind of mindset to say, wait, what do I actually really want?
Yes.
Yeah.
That you're even allowed to have a choice, you know?
Yeah.
Right?
That pressure can be so much. Also, side note, love that we have 2 conversation designers here. I think this conversation is very well designed already by the fact of your presence. And for people listening, we have West Coast, Midwest, US, and Europe represented. So we've got a lot going on.
Global.
We're global here at My
global.
Career Journey.
Yes. I know you didn't explicitly mention this, but you have talked about in the past, or we've talked about that you feel a little bit self-conscious about the fact that you only have an associate's degree.
Yes.
I was wondering if you can share more about why, and was this something that was like told to you, or was that something you felt just internally?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. All the job descriptions say must have a bachelor's degree, and every time I read that, I'm just like, well, and maybe some ATS systems out there just, they don't see a bachelor's or master's or PhD. They probably don't even take into account your resume at all, which is maybe what explains why from 2015 to 2020, that was 5 years of applying everywhere, getting rejected, going like, what is wrong with my resume? What can I improve? And yeah, that was tough. So I think that maybe added to the, maybe I'm not good enough. If for 5 years you try applying to that's a career pivot too, right? Like it was just, and I don't even know what made me still continue, because wow, like when I say it out loud, 5 years is a long time to be rejected and still continue.
Yeah, I mean, we deal with that in music all the time. It's just if you want to do something, you just pursue it until you get the opportunity to do it. And
very true. And you just don't know when that'll be.
Exactly. It's a matter of when, not if.
Yeah.
And you take all the random jobs along the way to sustain yourself with
exactly
that singular vision of here's where I'm going and I'm going to get there. I just have to bide my time and wait for my break.
Yeah.
I wonder though, especially since both of you are in this field that probably a lot of people listening don't know a ton about, like what is the typical entry point? Like how do you get in? Are there now degree programs that people do, or is it that portfolio experience? I'm just curious.
So people come from all over. I mean, because the field is so new relatively, there are people from all different types of backgrounds that come into the field just kind of by accident. We do a lot of like design of AI experiences, basically. So if you get a taste of that through like chatbot design or some other form, there are courses you can take, but there's no degree programs. It's just kind of, you have to find it somehow.
Sometimes on accident, sometimes they'll find you. So what I've seen some companies are doing now, they'll have a role that's AI related, but then they'll tell the recruiter, okay, this is the ideal. We're probably not going to find a person who has worked in the AI space for this many years, who also knows this industry very well, who also is good at this program. That's a lot to ask for when everything has just been so chaotic these past 2 years when it comes to AI. So they'll be like, okay, look for this specific skill. If they're able to learn quickly, like look at their trajectory, and basically, they just kind of look for different things that kind of signal, okay, this person might be a good fit here because they can adapt well. They know enough about AI. They'll be able to learn and grow. But looking for the perfect person who has everything on a resume now or job description, it's not going to work well.
So can you talk, Marlinda, a little bit more about that kind of like 2015 timeline where you decided like, I'm really going to go for this? Like why, what did that dream look like for you back then that kept you motivated?
I think when I got that first taste of chatbot conversation design work, where it basically, I felt like it just lit up all the parts of my brain of all the things that I enjoy in one job: problem solving, language, understanding the psychology, and like user experience. And you need a little bit of technical know-how too because of the tools that you're working with. It just had everything that I liked, that I do on the side, that I don't get paid for to explore, and it was in one job. So that was kind of like this big aha moment for me, where I was like, this is it. I actually can do a job that I don't hate, and, and, I, and I can pay the bills. So yeah, that was my big motivating factor.
Yeah, that's good. Not hating your job. We should all not hate our jobs, but not the case for everybody. So I love it.
I was wondering if you can talk a little bit more about the odd jobs that you've done.
Yes.
In between when you were looking for conversation design work.
Oh yes. Okay. So many. I mean, I had a contract job over at Facebook, now Meta, doing still search NLP things, then moved over to within it, I was moved to Instagram doing what is it? It was privacy content, making sure that content is authentic.
For people that don't know what NLP is, do you mind saying a little bit about what it is? It stands for natural language processing.
Yeah, it's basically, let me try to give you just an example. Like, how is it that a machine can understand your words and then spit back an answer that, if you asked about cat pictures, they don't give you dogs. So really, it's just the programming and the training behind the scenes to make sure that a machine understands, right? Not understands the way that we understand, but it's just matching, basically to serve you the right results. Yeah. So because these are contract jobs, they have an end date, and I don't always have something lined up. And when that happens and I'm not able to secure a job, I just picked up whatever random job was available. One of them was like a Panera bread overnight baker. I was like, I bake at home. I'm like, how hard could it be? I enjoy this. It was hard. It was like there's a difference between baking one loaf of bread at home and the entire baking bread for the entire store overnight.
Did you have to do that by yourself, or did you have?
I had to do that by myself. There was someone trained me. Obviously, I had a period of training, but and this was also during the pandemic, after the Adobe job, because that contract was short. And what was it? So it was. I learned that they used to have 5 overnight like bakers, but because they had to scale everything back, they had just one. But the amount of dough that I had to bake every night, it wasn't enough for 2 people, but it was definitely too much for one. So I never finished in my 8-hour shift. I was always like done by 10. Sometimes I didn't take my breaks, just because I wanted to get out really, really soon. So yeah.
Oh my goodness, that sounds intense.
Yeah.
Wow. What do you feel like? I mean, obviously those are hard jobs, and not jobs that everybody who gets to a place like conversational design does. But what do you feel like you took from them or learned from them?
That's a good question. Did I learn anything from? I mean, I learned some good baking tips and some.
Baking bread for 8 hours is really hard.
Yeah, I think what it taught me was that I'm capable of anything that I put my mind to, and that I can power through anything, no matter how hard things get. I'm just often surprised at myself. And so, yeah, it was the Panera bread. I also picked up like the weekend grocery prime shopping, like in store, the one who like picks the groceries and puts it in a bag for the other person to pick it up. Did that as well. It's just, well, one, again, motivating factor. I need money to pay rent.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, of course, still continuing to apply and just, keep going.
How did you even find those jobs? Like, what were the interviews like? What was that process?
Gosh, it's been a while. If I can remember, I definitely had different resumes tailored for these. It was just, I don't need to like talk about end-to-end product management or design. You know, it's what's your experience like with like talking to customers and getting tasks done, and how do you just still same behavioral questions, but just for those situations. Yeah.
You touched on this a little bit at the beginning, but kind of mentioned you didn't know what opportunities you had out there, or like you didn't feel maybe confident that it didn't have what it takes.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you could take us through like your thought process and how you navigated that and overcame that.
So, oh my gosh, yeah, imposter syndrome, not believing, it's constantly surrounded by master's degree students in linguistics. It's intimidating for sure. And coming from my background, not just career-wise, but the way that I grew up too, where my parents, I mean, Asian household, children don't talk at all. So I didn't start learning how to talk to people until way after college. Um, and so that kind of adds to the whole like not feeling like I can do things when everyone is so eloquent around me. Like how do you sound like that? How do you string words together like that? I'm still struggle with that to this day. And
I don't
I'm
think
not
you do. I think you say things very eloquently.
in here. If I could just take you through a tour of what goes on in my head as I'm talking.
Yeah, people actually pay you to design conversations now. I think that's a mark of success, if nothing else.
Yes, and you are a good one.
Yeah,
I would say it's a little different because I can sit and look at an experience and be like, okay, right here, this is where we should have paused. The machine should have paused right here. But real-time conversations with people sometimes is not different. It's not like I could press pause here, think about what I can say, and then continue.
Oh, I feel that too.
and even like
Yeah.
you think about classical music, everybody would always think, "Oh, well, you must be such a good public speaker." It's like, no, actually, we hide. Well, we speak through our instrument.
That's why I play violin, so I don't
with
know.
our voice. Yes,
Right.
It doesn't translate in the way that you think. Actually, stage presence with the cello is very different from stage presence without a cello. I had to learn that over years and years.
Wow. Yeah. Yep. It's the same. Yeah.
Okay, but sorry, going back to imposter syndrome, I think we're all, well, we talked about career shifting and being in new spaces and having to demonstrate expertise with people who are, at least we feel, much more seasoned or have the right labels or whatever. What does that look like for you? How have you either conquered that or continue to manage it and keep a healthy headspace with all the resilience and all the things that you've done?
Yeah. I'd be lying if I said that I'm like fully confident now and that nothing worries me, no fears or anxiety takes over. It still very much does. And I guess how I overcome it is just journaling for one thing. Like, okay, Marlinda, remember, look at what you've done, look at where you came from, and just look at how far you've come now. I think looking back sometimes like that kind of reminds me of like, wait, I thought years ago I never would have made it, and here I am now, and here I am thinking again that I'm not going to make it. That doesn't make sense. Like, no, I think, yeah, I have built, and I think since then I've built enough confidence to be able to at least take the next day with a little more calm than back then.
I think the idea of making it is when you are growing and you are pushing yourself is so tough because it's like the goalpost gets pushed out a little further out.
Right.
A little further out.
Yes. So that maybe we just have to do away with that idea of making it. I think that needs to go away. I think our jobs are going to continue to evolve and change. It's no longer you find the one job and that's it for the rest of your life. I think it's going to be an average of 4 to 5 jobs, which is going to be normal. And I think that's great because there's so much more out there that you don't know exists. What if there's something else that you can that you find that you'll have that'll mean so much more to you?
Yeah. And you're adding it to your toolkit rather than replacing something, right? It's not a replacement. Yes. So maybe we're like a hub with a bunch of spokes instead of a line, right?
Yes, exactly.
So you have done a lot of like public speaking and stuff. And I mean, you just mentioned you're a little bit of an introvert. And so I was wondering, what's your approach to kind of putting yourself out there?
Okay. I think, well, I was thinking when you said approach, I'm like, okay, I panicked for the first 3 months before. I'm like 1 month panic mode.
Step 1, panic.
Yes, that never. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it just never goes away.
Yeah.
But when you said like what pushes me out there, I think this one goes back to, I don't know when I decided this, but I told myself if I want something different in my life, I have to push myself out of my comfort zone. And um, in 2028, so before I even like got the contract job, already I was like, okay, and that was when I quit nursing school, like quit the nursing. I was like, what am I going to do now? Am I going to go back to school? Am I going to what jobs out there can I do that won't require so much human interaction? Like, but then I was like, okay, wait, no, that's not going to work. I have to go out there, talk to people, say hello. Sorry, I made a goal to say hello to one random person on the street. Like, you know, you're walking to the grocery store, you kind of make eye contact with people and you just kind of like hi. This just to practice interacting with people. I failed that goal for years. That's how bad I was at talking to people. But it was, I think back then where I was I guess growing this muscle of you feel a fear and do it anyway. Kind of that's the only thing that got me to where I am now. Because if I let fear like be the one, I probably would have never gotten here. Yeah.
Wow, it's such a small level. It's a good way to build that habit and comfort. It's like, okay, if I can talk to this stranger in one of my day-to-day things, maybe it'll chip away at some of the anxiety I have in the bigger platforms. I think that's a really great and approachable way, even if it took a little while to actually do it.
Yeah.
And over the last few years that I've known you, you've like become so much more confident in your, you know, talking to people and just putting yourself out there. So it's been really cool to watch that.
You still panic beforehand?
I do. I consider myself an extreme introvert. Like if I didn't have to make money, just stay at home and not do anything. Yeah, but I can't do that. So here I am.
You mentioned like networking and getting to know people. What does that kind of mean to you? And do you have any tips for people to network?
Yeah, I think when I first started like moving into this career space and everyone's like, you got to network, I felt such an ick. Like, no, like why do I like talk to people for what? To get something so they possibly maybe ask them for a job like that. That's not never made me feel good. Then later on, I realized, well, networking is a two-way street. I can talk to people, learn about them, and the more that I meet other people, you could be a connector. Maybe like, hey, Emily said she is working on this thing. Allegra, I think you two should meet because like this is such a great opportunity and nothing about me, right? But I think that is where like networking should start for people. And then the more you get to know people, the more they get to know you. It's just passing things forward. Yeah. Instead of being like, I'm going to network so that I can gain something. No.
Yeah, it's not transactional, it's relational, right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know Emily is a conference queen. And from what I've heard, you do pretty well at conferences too. And I wonder, speaking from the perspective of someone who is a self-proclaimed extreme introvert, what does that conference look like for you and how you keep that relational focus? But it's so overwhelming with so many people.
Yeah. I now can anchor myself into the knowledge that I know about conversation design. That helps. Like, okay, if it's thinking less about me and more like this person is asking this question, how can I help answer that question about this issue?
Yeah.
And totally making it. I mean, it is about the other person. So just, I mean, when fear strikes, it's like, oh, what are these people going to think about me? But if you forget all that and focus on what is this person trying to solve and can I help them? I think making that switch. Yeah.
Be the helper, right?
Yeah.
I love that. I think it's one of the 4 agreements. One of them is don't take anything personally, right? But I think a way to reframe that is don't make everything personal, like focus on, like reframe the energy towards other people rather than centering the self.
Yeah.
There's something really empowering about that too. That's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think also targeting the conferences too, like to what you're interested in, so you meet other like-minded people.
Yes.
Helps a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm curious about mentorship.
Okay.
And have you done like any, like what's been your approach to learning? Have you gotten any mentors?
I would say that if anyone can find a mentor sooner, I think that would help. I think I wouldn't have um, ran into as many roadblocks or like stayed with many roadblocks for as long as I did if I had a mentor sooner. And now I wouldn't say I have a dedicated mentor now, but I do, now that I'm in these spaces, in these conferences, I like to take more intentional notes about how this person speaks, how this person is interacting, and sort of kind of like, instead of getting the like straight mentorship, I feel like I'm getting like second, like I guess secondhand mentorship, seeing the way that people speak and trying to remember that and imply that myself. Yeah.
Actually, that's kind of, you've worked at some of the most recognizable brands on earth, right? You look at your resume, you go boom, boom, boom. Were you able to find them within the company, or typically like in terms of like a boss relationship, or look elsewhere for people that might not have it within their professional, environment? I'm just wondering what your experience has been like, because I feel like every company is so different. And sometimes it's just built in right for you, where you have an incredible boss and there's a culture of feedback and growth.
Yeah.
Other places, it's like, oh, wow, I really have to do the work because it's not happening here.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely most of the latter, and only because of when you have a contract job, it actually is, I think no one is actually allowed to mentor you.
Oh.
So
Wait,
I
not
was
allowed?
mostly
What does that mean? Like, I mean, you're not an employee, right? So,
Right.
right. Yeah.
yeah.
Otherwise, I
Yeah.
think then you could be you could claim that you are an employee and like maybe fight for more benefits or something like that.
Oh,
So
yep. Yep.
yeah. So books actually is what really helped me. Hmm.
Okay.
Are you a physical book reader or a electronic book reader or audio?
Is physical book reader.
Yeah, me too. I need to feel it. I just need
Yes.
the weight. It's just, and disconnect from the glare of the screen. I love it. I'm with you.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned in the past that you haven't always felt like you belonged in the field. And I was wondering if you could talk more about why you felt that way.
I think there's multiple layers here. Again, going back to everyone has degrees that I don't, they can speak eloquently. This is very personal to me because basically I grew up in an environment that wasn't great. There was like a lot of stress and anxiety. And I learned that when you're constantly stressed and feeling anxious and depressed, like the part of your brain that takes things from short-term memory to long-term memory doesn't work as well. And the muscles to be able to speak again in real time quickly and like process thoughts and then come up with your own thoughts to say it out loud, that was not that wasn't strong for me. I tend to ramble a lot. I don't get to the point, and sometimes I insert like tangent thoughts in between. I'm trying really hard right now not to do that.
You're doing great.
But where did I lost my train of thought now?
Memory, the power of memory,
memory.
and then, being able to verbalize.
Yes, that was really hard, and I think that was maybe one of the biggest reasons why I was just always like not feeling that I should be here, because that's such a struggle for me.
How did you rewire? Because we've talked about this a little bit of like acknowledging that the goalpost is changing, but that doesn't mean you're not growing. It just means you're not necessarily documenting or processing or acknowledging your growth. But for people that might feel like it's never enough or I don't belong, what have you done to rewire yourself?
One, having a community. When you spend time with people who do believe in you, sometimes that borrowed confidence really helps to get you on your feet. And I think the journaling, like going back and reflecting, I think that is also really important because it grounds you. Like, wait, logically, I did all these things. So that means I am capable, right? Like this didn't come out of nowhere. This came from me. So yeah, just those kinds of reminders until your own confidence builds.
I was wondering how you found your community.
It was really just the conferences. I think the like a lot of
Mm.
like-minded people in this new space trying to do this new field. It was there where I really found more people who are like nerds like me about the technical problems that we go through with conversation design. And so that was kind of like really validating because like, oh, there's other people who are just as nerdy about this space and we get to talk about this like and they don't want me to shut up like, oh, okay. This is great.
I felt like, yeah, because I've felt like I haven't belonged in certain spaces in the past, but I feel like I open up so much more, and I feel like I feel supported when I say something, or
Yeah.
um it's a yeah, I open up a lot more to people and become a little bit more extroverted when the people I'm around are, we can talk about a lot of stuff together.
Yes.
So,
Very true.
When
yeah.
people are nerding out together, there's some barrier that just breaks down and just this joy, I feel like, that emerges. It's like, oh, you care
Yes.
about this too? Let's go. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it connects you and takes you past that the surface level interaction, and it kind of,
Exactly.
you have that thing in common that you can just dive deep into right away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Marlinda, you use the phrase, I get to do this, which I think is really beautiful in itself, because a lot of people with their jobs think I have to do this. And I'm sure there are days where it's like, this is actually really rough and Sunday scaries or whatever. But do you still kind of feel like, do you still feel that joy in what you do? And how do you keep that during the tough times?
Yeah. I still do feel that joy. Um, I don't know, maybe it's just the way that my brain is wired that it just enjoys like everything in this space is kind of like a puzzle to me. And I've always loved puzzles. And so that part is just like my inner child is like just so happy. Yeah.
Love it.
I was curious what advice you have for other people that are considering a career change or in the messy middle.
What helped me was really to define what my values were. And that made it easy for me to say no to other things. It helped me narrow down what fields were definitely a no-go. Because I could learn, I could do conversation design for financial institutions. Would I be happy there? Probably not.
Same. Yeah.
So, knowing what your own personal North Star is. And for me, just always believing that, you know what, today didn't turn out well, but something will happen to me tomorrow. Like something good will come tomorrow. I don't know what it is yet, but it will. And I think that conviction has led me here.
Yeah, having a North Star, having values that help you define boundaries, because it can get overwhelming if you're thinking about a
Yes.
change, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that helps you feel authentic to yourself and also have a why that drives you, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is there anything you didn't get to share yet, Marlinda, for our eager listeners that you would want to have the chance to talk about?
If you are in this messy in-between space, just keep going. Find your inspiration because you never know where it will take you. A lot of people believe sometimes, for example, that I've seen way back when, like people thought that they were going to be a, I don't know, professional dancer, but what they really wanted and ended up getting was a community that helped them like ground them. And they ended up not like pursuing dancing, but what they got was even more like even more worth it when they had, yeah, just support. And that's what they needed. So sometimes you're attracted to certain things, but really you get something else out of there that you didn't know what you needed. So yes, follow
It
your
goes back.
inspiration.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it goes also back to stepping out of your comfort zone too, and
Yeah.
exploring, having the courage
Yeah.
to explore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If people are excited about you and your perspective and want to reach out directly, how should they do that?
Oh, LinkedIn is fine. Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice. Your LinkedIn is very impressive, by the way. You've just like your intro paragraph. I'm like, whoa, outcomes, human-centered design. Let's go.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for doing this and being on here. It's been awesome. I've learned so much, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me.
My Career Journey is produced by Emily Banzap and Allegra Montanari. If you enjoy our content, follow us wherever you get your podcasts and find us on YouTube and Instagram at My Career Journey Pod. Thanks for listening.